Hola. If you've sent hundreds of job applications this month and got zero callbacks, then I'm about to show you how I went from getting laid off twice within the same year to making 5,500 a month without sending a single resume. And as well as how I helped my barber discover how to turn his skills into an additional 1K a month on top of what he was already making. So let's get into it. So my name's Toyin, and 2 years ago I was staring at my laptop screen after getting the call, we're letting you go effective immediately. So yeah, I got laid off again. But you know what's crazy? I should have been devastated, but instead I felt this weight lifted off my shoulders. It's like I was finally free to build something better. And like I said, today now I'm making 5,500 a month helping businesses solve problems that they're desperately trying to fix. And I've already proven that this works for others too, including my barber who's making an extra 1K a month on top of cutting hair. And the crazy part is this really opened his eyes to a whole new world that he didn't even know existed. So I know what you probably tried already. You spent countless hours tailoring your resume for jobs that ghost you. You've reached out to hiring managers who never respond. And if you're lucky to get an interview, you might have gotten 5 rounds deep just to get rejected at the end for someone who had a more cultural fit, most likely just an internal hire, fake job. Or maybe you tried freelancing on things like Upwork or Fiverr, and then competing with people charging $5 an hour for work that you really know is worth $50 an hour. So trust me, I've lived this same nightmare in that same span of time. I've had like over 247 plus job applications that I filled out. I've gotten 2 interviews. I got zero offers. And I knew something had to change. So after I got laid off twice within that same year, I was completely done with that entire broken system. And then after the second layoff, I really decided at that moment that, I was done getting laid off. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started watching YouTube videos about how to make money online and trying to find anything that could work. And then the next day I was scrolling through, the internet, and then I saw a company saying that they needed help with a very specific problem. So instead of thinking, okay, I gotta apply for a job here and hopefully I can do that, something just told me to just solve the problem right then and there. So I put together a complete solution, not just what they asked for, but a better way to organize their entire process. And then a few hours later, I got the message. This is exactly what we needed. Can we hire you? And that one solution turned into steady work. And then they referred me to another company, and then it just kept growing from there. So I realized that I've been approaching this completely backwards. Before it was just, my only option. I just got to keep on applying. But then I realized that I already have the skills to solve all these problems. And trust me, you do too. And that's where we are now. So that's when I discovered something that I like to call reverse freelancing. So it's the complete opposite of what everyone tells you to do. But here's what nobody really tells you about traditional freelancing. Instead of posting your services and hoping someone finds you, maybe even putting up a couple ads and stuff like that, and instead of competing on price with hundreds of other freelancers, some from other countries that can go lower than you on price and still give like the same kind of business, you find businesses that already have problems, and then you solve those problems using skills that you already have. So most people are thinking like employees, they'll just gotta apply, hope for the best, and then repeat. But reverse freelancing flips that completely. You become the person that they're really desperately trying to find. So this is how it works differently. So step one, you complete an audit of their business. You focus on areas that you specialize in, and then you identify cracks or inefficiencies that are costing them money. Then step two, you create a detailed breakdown showing them exactly how to fix it while highlighting the revenue opportunities that they're missing. Then step three, you present yourself as a specialist who can turn those inefficiencies into profit because you've already shown that you know what you're doing with that breakdown. And then step four, you get paid premium rates because you're not just solving problems, you're unlocking revenue for them. And this is a whole lot more powerful than just putting up that you can do web design for $150. So this is where we are now. After that first discovery, everything really changed faster than I expected for myself. So, like I said, I got hired the next day and then I solved their problem immediately. And as I kept proving myself, my rates went up and I became a critical resource for them. So soon they were referring me to other companies, and then within months, That's when I was making 5,500 a month, more than my corporate salary ever was at that point in time. So, but the crazy part is, like I was saying, this worked for my barber as well. He was tired of just standing on his feet 10 hours a day and then asked if there was a way he can make money online. But then I thought, wait a minute, I think I really do know how you can do this. And so I taught him the same reverse freelancing method. Then after a few talking a bit, within 2 months, he landed his first client doing research and content strategy and then making an extra 1K a month on top of cutting hair. So same system. We have completely different skills, but he was still able to get the same results as in, making more money. So the timing for this really couldn't be better because you can just see what's happening right now. Amazon CEO says they're going to reduce the number of corporate jobs. AI is going to change the way things are working. Young graduates are facing an employment crisis. Intel's cutting 21,000 jobs. Microsoft is eliminating 6,500 positions. I literally just got a notification that Microsoft is going to lay off a huge chunk of the gaming division at Xbox. Amazon CEO saying the same thing. And then companies that they really don't need full-time employees for every problem. That's what they're realizing. They need specialists who can solve specific issues fast. And that's where the opportunity for you comes in. Freelance demand is exploding. The shift is happening, whether we like it or not. You can call it contracting or whatever you want, but it's happening. But here's the problem. Most freelancers are still playing by the old rules. They're competing for jobs, bidding against each other, racing to the bottom on price. And that's where reverse freelancing comes in. You're not competing for jobs. You're solving urgent problems, and they'll pay premium rates to fix it. And right now, almost nobody is really approaching freelancing this way, which means if you understand this shift entirely, you're positioning yourself as the solution and not just another option. So now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I do this? Where do I start? How do I know what service to offer? And what if I think I don't have any valuable skills? So that's exactly what I'm going to cover in my next video. It's going to be the exact process that I use to identify valuable services that our businesses actually need. And I'm going to walk you through the same skills audit that I helped my barber use to discover that he had the knowledge that companies were willing to pay for. And it's just stuff that he thought was just common sense, but he didn't realize that he knew it already. So that's what I'm going to do in the next one. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell because the next video is coming out soon. That's where I'm going to go through it. And if you want to implement this system and make sure it's all working correctly, maybe fast track a little bit, while most people are, they're still sending out hundreds of applications and waiting months for responses, you could be building freelance income on the side or even replacing your entire salary if that's your real goal. So that's why I'm going to be launching the first cohort of the Restart system. It's the reverse freelancing program that I have, and I'm only going to be taking 15 people so that I can work closely with everyone and document the results. It's going to be a 4-week intensive program where I'll teach you the exact system that I used to build my freelancing business and help you avoid the mistakes that I made. And then guide you through the process step by step. So there's going to be a waitlist link in the description to secure your spot when it opens. But either way, watch that next video. I'm going to show you exactly how to identify which of your skills are the most valuable to freelance clients. Going to hold nothing back, and then we're going to get right into it. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you on the inside.